Welcome back to the Oracle of Enlightenment as we continue our coverage of Anime North. We're here with Lee
Tockar.
Yeah, I didn't want to butcher it.
Well, it's either Tockar or Tockar. It's spelt the same, but it depends on where I am.
Well, it's great to have you on the show, Lee.
It's great to be had on the show.
All right, you've done some of my favorite cartoons. I love Bling Bling Boy on Johnny
Thank you very much. Yes, I drew from my personal history of being a brilliant genius boy child with a lot of money and the delusions of taking over the world. Oh, except without the money.
I thought Eugene was rich.
Yes, but I wasn't.
Oh, okay. And you also played the General and Speed McCool, right?
I play the General Larry and Johnny Test. We're coming up to season 5 now, and it's on the on the television. Yeah, that's right.
And I also play Speed McCool, yeah. Yeah, hey, I like your monkey.
That's my favorite line that he says.
Well, my favorite line was always, "I'm Bling Bling Boy. What do you want, Eugene?"
I will take over Pork Belly unless Susan Test goes on a date with me.
Oh, that is so cool. I love that
You
show.
were just looking to make sure it was still on? Oh my god, did I really get that? Oh my god.
I always check to make sure it's
That's
around.
awesome. That's awesome.
You were also George in George of the Jungle. That was the new show, right?
Yeah, I played the new George in George of the Jungle, which is basically, as I always say, it's me, but, a little dumber.
Well, how was doing that, considering that you had an earlier show to live up to?
Well, I grew up watching the original, and I was allowed to reinvent it. And the fact that I was allowed to reinvent it for myself and to put my own personal stamp on an iconic character like that was, in a word, awesome. So it was great, the fact that I could do that. So I wasn't really trying to emulate. I was trying to reinvent and try, and that was a challenge because he is an iconic character, and you don't want to disappoint because you've got Brendan Fraser doing all the movies. It's kind of a funny little thing that had happened. It was a cartoon based on a set of movies which were based on a prior cartoon. So it had come full circle.
Yeah.
It was very fun, sunrise, sunset.
Well, I mean, they kind of split Ursula into two characters, part Maggie, part Ursula, and I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, they did. Two different wonderful actresses. But they did do that. Well, I guess they sort of had to because I just think for the demographic of how you make a cartoon appeal to young boys and young girls, it's sort of like the Johnny Test. Why that has worked so well is the formula that it's for little boys, but you also have to have a very powerful, strong female presence, which are the two brainy sisters. So there is a formula to the rationale behind how they make these cartoons for the demographic, to sell the toys, to keep the industry going, to keep everyone happy, and the machine goes on.
Rage Against the Machine, anyway.
Rage Against the Machine.
Okay, now, who were you on Beast Wars? That's one of Dave's favorites.
Yep.
I did. It was kind of a tragic story. I wish that I could have been more, but I was so happy that I got to be part of it. I played
Covert Agent Ravage, the last Decepticon.
That was
Decepticons forever!
That was great. I love the character.
I love that he was such a badass in the ending, and that he was instrumental in the destruction of everything. I was away during the initial auditions, so I never got a chance to audition for any of the others. So they were already cast and in, and being a bit of a nerd and a comic geek myself, and I know a lot of the other voice actors aren't as much into the comics as I am. When I found out that I had missed the initial callbacks and the cartoon auditions, I could have been somebody. But then when they called me up to be Covert Agent Ravage, I'm like, oh, really? There's a chance? I'll take it. Yes, give it to me. So,
and that was a character reinvented from the original show.
It was, yes, it was. Yeah. And and my friend Christina, she's given me a whole bunch of the back issues of the comics because she's here in Toronto, and so she's been my eyes and ears to the ground, and she's got me a whole bunch of the re-releases of the different kinds of all of the incarnations. I'm very happy. So I now have almost a full, complete set of every single cartoon or comic book that Ravage has been in. I also played MODOK in Iron Man, and so I've gone back and I've scoured through all of the old bookstores, and I found every single issue that MODOK was in. So I'm doing that now. I'm going back through all of anytime my character appeared in anything in a comic book, I make it a point of going and collecting that comic book.
Yeah, I love the character of MODOK. And
Yeah.
you did it so much better than the guys on Superhero Squad.
Designation Iron Man. Expendable.
That was the 90s cartoon, correct?
Early 2000s, I think. That was in the last Iron Man series. And there was also some stuff with Planet Hulk. I think that was happening around the same time. That was through that same company, recorded at Ocean Studios in Vancouver.
And what'd you do on Hulk?
That's a really good question. I think I played Terminus. Yeah, Terminus. And I went back and I collected that one too. And I didn't know that much about Terminus. He's just this outer space, I believe he's an outer space gatherer. And he wanted all the natural resources or something like that. I'm kind of scratching my head about that. This off the top of my head. So he's a scrounger and a hoarder and a procurer of natural resources, and so he came to Earth to rape and pillage all of its natural resources. He's this large, mechanical, sort of Godzilla-sized beast. That one I remember thrashing the heck out of my throat. So I don't remember the voice, but I remember tasting blood for a few days afterwards.
And what were you on X-Men? Which series, first of all?
Well, X-Men, I think that was the one I was on. I was MODOK on. Oh, no, X-Men. Yeah, no, wait, I don't know. Please don't ask me. I can't remember. I don't know. I look at my IMDb. I can't remember. It's all happening so quick. I didn't know I'd have to study.
Okay. How about Fantastic Four?
I like your shirt.
I can't remember. I'm sorry. I didn't look at my IMDb. You have to understand, I am in about between 5 and 8 series every year, and not all of them are lead parts. Some days I'll get called in to do a day play part, and they get a lot of traffic, so it bumps up my IMDb. But it's only I'm only on 1 or 2 days, and so I go in the day before. I get the script. I read the script. I rehearse the script. I'm off book. I go in. And I do it, and then I get called in to go across town to do another commercial or another something. So it's really hard to, even though I know I should really keep track, it's hard to keep track. I'm sorry.
Well, tell us about Pronto the Magnificent, your new character.
Pronto the Magnificent. Well, first of all, he is incredibly brave. He is a wonderful lover, and he is not afraid of anything. Except maybe everything.
And that's from a Disney show?
Yeah, it is the new Nerdcore Disney co-production, and it's called Slugterra. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about it because it's not out yet, but there is enough information on the Nerdcore website that I don't feel I am in breach. It takes place in the underworld caverns of Slugterra, and it is... It portrays the exploits of a young boy whose last name is Shane, whose father was Will Shane, and he was a great slug slinger. I can't say too much more, but there are magic slugs that it's like an Old West film meets Aliens meets collect all the slugs like Pokemon. I mean, it's written, and I'm the comic foil in it, and Sam Vincent is playing the lead. And Andrew Francis is playing Cord. Shannon Chan Kent is playing Trixie. And Dr. Black, the evil Dr. Black, is played by Mark Oliver. And this is just to be in this cast, fantastic. And now there's a bit of a coup. Our new director has a prior history in directing ADR. And his name is James Kugel. And James... He used to work at Ocean Studios, and he has directed me in a lot of things. Like he directed me in a lot of the Mega Mans. He directed me in.
I love Mega Man.
Yeah, and I play Higsby in Mega Man.
Yep.
And he directed me in Monster Rancher.
Yes, I
and
remember
played
that.
the sergeant in that, and he's like so many things he's directed me, and it's so nice to see him make the leap from ADR director to prelay director, and he's done a great job. And I know all the boys at Nerdcore, like Ace Fipke and all those boys there, and the show director Johnny Darrow. All these guys are great, and they're all very happy with them. And of course I absolutely adore Nerdcore. They've kept me very happy and very very well fed for many years, and I have nothing but good things to say. And this show, Slugterra, is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Cool. Tell us about your company now that you're starting.
Yes, I'm starting I have a new way of producing cartoons. The podcast that I'm making is called Fan Built, and it's built by the fans. And it is a kind of an entertainment tonight of what's going on in the world of animation and the behind the scenes, and in like things like here and stuff like this. So I'd like to talk about this interview, and I'm going to get some clips of this. We'll take some pictures and put that up on. We'll do a little cross promotion thing. Lovely.
What's the address?
It's fanbuilt.com, and basically, we're in our beta site test process right now. We're getting some funding that's coming down the line. We're very excited. And we've just got, so what I'm doing is I have a podcast called ONUR Radio, brilliant programming for a nation full of geniuses. ONUR. and I get all of my friends from around the world who are voice actors to send me things from their home studios, little short clips of funny. And you can send it too, listeners, to onurradio.com. And I will give you, if you just say who you are and you don't mind that your stuff gets animated, then I'm going to promote it and put it on a radio podcast, and then I'm taking that radio podcast and I'm giving it to animation schools, because traditionally animation schools have nothing to animate. And so I'm giving out, it's like, how would you like to animate some of the best voiceover actors in the world? I know them, here they are on a platter. And then they send it, post it back on my website, the ones with the most likes. I scrape off the top, and we just got legal to use the term Animation Idol.
That's going to be great.
I know.
Do you have any other websites or things you want to give?
The Fanbuilt on the Fanbuilt has its own Facebook page. You can like us there and follow our things. And our blog is coming out, the Fanbuilt blog. So that's coming out. I have my own personal website that I sell all my artwork in, and I write for cartoons as well. And that's leetockar.com. And I've got a bunch of things. I've spent a lot of years talking about all these projects that I'm doing, but I was never really confident enough in their final effect on the world. So now I think I've finally at a place where I know enough, and they're good, and I think they're good enough. So now I'm walking out this year with about 6 projects under my arm, and I'm world be damned. I don't care. I'm let them kick my bum if they want, but I'm coming. So there you go. Producer, writer, voice actor, and grateful interviewee.
Yes. What got you started in all this?
I loved Mel Blanc as a boy. I sat on the high-piled shag rug, watching the big wooden floor model television, watching Bugs Bunny and Tweety Show as a kid. And I was 5 years old, walking down Bernard Avenue in Kelowna, my hometown, with my mom. I was holding her hand, and I looked up and said, I want to grow up to be a cartoon. I remember those words specifically. She looked at me like I was crazy, obviously, like reassessing at what size bus I should be taking to school or something. I don't know. But yeah, I have grown up to do that. I've grown up to be a part of that. I did stand-up comedy for 15 years, thinking that would satiate my love of making people laugh. But it didn't do it. And I, as soon as I graduated, the next day I was on a bus from Kelowna to Vancouver, and welfare and food banks, 2 years trying to get auditions and not holding down jobs because no one would hire me because I was going to these auditions all the time. And who's going to hire a young crazy blind guy? So I got my first gig was with Conan the Destroyer.
I love that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Conan the
No, that
Destroyer.
was Conan the Adventurer. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Conan the Destroyer was the live action show. Right?
Yeah, Conan, and And I did, and then I got the voice of doing Kokanee beer. It was like, Kokanee beer, it's the beer out here, glaciers and streams, blah, blah, blah. And boom, I started getting money. So I went from welfare and food banks to $4,000 checks showing up out of the blue. And I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome. And and then I was the voice of the LA Kings and the Vancouver Canucks, you know.
Get your season tickets and half-season tickets. Call 1-800-GOAL.
Or something like that. Wow. And then so I started doing commercials, and then more and more. And then I went to the Union of BC Performers, and I said, hi, I'm Lee, I'm your new voice coach. They said, who are you? And I gave them a whole bunch of my, silly voices going from one to another to another, from all the accents of the world. It took me about 15 minutes. They thought I was crazy. I showed them my class itinerary from the back pocket and said, I'm a writer too. And I did that for 2 years until I got so many gigs I couldn't afford to teach anymore, and the rest is history. I'm usually averaging between 5 and 8 series every year, and I've never been happier, and I'm very, very blessed that I've been able to be a part of this wonderful, great world of animation.
I just have a question for you.
Yeah.
When you're doing these series, do you ever have a problem where you're crossing over characters from one series to another?
No, never. We do have a thing that we try to do to each other to peeve each other off, because if somebody is coming in doing a nice Irish lilt or something, people will come in and do Scottish and say, oh, how you doing, Lee? It's nice to see you. And you go, stop it, get out of my head, get out of my head, because you're trying to focus on one part of the world. What I find the easiest thing to do is when you find an accent, or you find a character, like when I do my, there's no call for Marge Simpson, but when I do it, I have one catchphrase. It's,
oh, mate, there's something about this severed monkey paw that just doesn't settle with me.
So every single phrase is meant for that character. So it's your Rolodex. So when you want to get to that character in your mind, you go back to that phrase, and boom, you're in the show.
You do Marge Simpson?
Well, I don't do her, but I mean, but as an example, everybody else to do that.
It sounded just like her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't think you did that.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's what I mean. It's like that's how you get there in your head, is that you have a catchphrase that each one sticks to, each voice sticks to. So it's easier to flip around. It's like a Rolodex. You flip through, and it's like I know, like if I want to do Welsh accent, I start reciting A Child's Christmas in Wales by Dylan Thomas. One Christmas was so much like another. In those years around the sea town gonna know. Everything has its own click and its own place in your head. Otherwise, you'd be swimming with all those voices. You'd never keep them all straight. That's my trick, anyway.
Do you have to be somewhat crazy in the head, in a good way, to actually do the voice acting, to enjoy the characters? Or it seems like your persona right now is like a Robin Williams routine. It's constantly flipping voices all the time.
Actually, what are you talking about? No. Yeah, it is. Oh, I'm sorry, what was the question?
He set you up.
Nice. I don't know. No, I think a lot of the people that I know that I work with are like the A-levels. I think they're all a little bit cuckoo. I've been told we have 5 minutes.
Okay.
5. We're on in 5. We're on in 5.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Let's talk about the Dresden Codex. Okay, the Mayans. How did they know? Number one, they couldn't even see Cortez coming, right? So how come I'm losing sleep now? That's what I want to know, man.
I think he stole this routine from Family Guy.
No, actually, no. There was some.
Stole it from him.
I never stole that from Family Guy. I'd never even seen this show. I'll kill you last. No. Actually, you know what? The best part of my career was I won the ELAN Award, Electronic Animation Award, for Best Male Voiceover Artist of the Year for my portrayal of George in George of the Jungle. And Seth MacFarlane actually came up here and presented me with the award. And backstage he said, "Lee, good job." And I'm like, "You don't know me. You're Seth MacFarlane, man. Come on." And I was just like, so that was like I was in heaven. So that was awesome.
Dancing cheek to cheek.
Yeah, dancing cheek to cheek. Yeah, no. But I tell you, I love what I do. I'm honored to be able to do what I do. I love the fans. I'm here at Anime North. This is my first time here. I love the fans. I love the kids. I love the cosplay. I just love it. I feel like I found my people. When my very first anime convention was in Vancouver, and I said to them, I feel like I found my people. And in unison, and I have this somewhere. I think it's on YouTube. They all started chanting, "One of us, one of us." And I rolled up my sleeve, and my whole arm was one big goose pimple. It was awesome. Oh. So anyway, thank you for the opportunity, and
yeah, thank you for the interview, Lee.
Thank you so much. You guys are great. Thanks very much.
That is Lee
Tockar or Tockar. It depends.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.